How you doing out there? Wish I could see your face watching this. It's such an intense time. Staying connected is so essential. It's been so essential in these last few weeks. Thank goodness that we have these devices and the technology to do that. Things are moving so fast and so slow. I'm sure if you are a frontline worker or an essential worker, the pace right now must be such a fury to the likes I wouldn't even begin to try and imagine. Or maybe it's unfamiliar for you to be home so much. Having such spaciousness in your days, like, it can feel so slow. That piece to me is very familiar, having been chronically ill for almost 2 years now. The spaciousness, this is something I'm accustomed to, being home a lot. What I'm not accustomed to is everybody else being home too. And it's the one little silver lining in this is that I've been connecting to people that I haven't been in some cases years, because we're all home and feel that, essential need to say, how are you doing, to reach out, to touch in. And we're home with such an immense amount, such a rich tapestry of feelings. In that way, for me personally, it feels like how I choose to respond right now is so important. Like, that connection that we're feeling, like we're all in this together, the ripple effect feels more tangible than usual. Part of the way that I've learned to navigate being sick and, isolated to a different degree than we are now for the last 2 years is doing my practices and tuning in a way that I can feel that I'm a part of the grid, like the overall global grid, the universal grid. That even though I'm not out being productive, that I can still tap in and feel like I have a ripple effect in the way that I'm choosing to participate. And that really just feels magnified right now. Like how consciously I want to narrate this experience is really intensified in this time. On a heart level, it feels like, I've been training for this my whole life. My cells know how to do this. On a physical level, I have a more intense sore throat for 3 days, or my fever's higher than normal, and my mind spins out into making that direct correlation to hospital PTSD. Like, oh my God, if I contract this, being as high risk as I am, I'm going straight to, I don't get to just ride it out and be okay. There's a slim chance, but most likely. And that way, I'm needing to be hyper vigilant in my quarantine. I go out for walks, but that's pretty much it. And that heart sense is, I know how to do this. I can tune in to the gratitude and the privilege. Gratitude just feels like such a tether right now. I have a roof over my head. I have food. I have community that loves me, that checks in on me. Like, that's huge. And I can do this. And there are moments where I feel like I can't do this. When a thought comes in, like, when will I ever be able to touch somebody again? Like, that can be really overwhelming. So it's that bobbing in and out of, like, staying centered, staying in that heart space versus letting, the collective terror, right? We're in this together in the way that we're choosing to participate. And there's this wall of fear, like, whoa, a wave that can have moments of bringing us into the undertow. And that's so okay. Like, my personal invitation is to allow that to happen. Like, it's so okay if I spin out, and if I need to cast a line out for support, okay, it's there. And numbing out to watch television, like, totally cool, But also taking a moment every day to feel into this and consciously participate in a way that feels like it's integrity with who I want to be in the world. I get a sense on a cellular level, I think all of us, like, I don't know that there's a human being that exists that hasn't lived through in their lineage some sort of war or genocide. And again, I come back to that place of gratitude and privilege. Like, no one is breaking into my home right now and dragging me out and beating me because of what I believe, you know? So many of our even great-grandparents lived through that. Our ask is to stay home if we're in isolation, and to take great care in the way that we participate when we are out into the world. Like, I can do that. Like, my heart, my cells know how to do this. In my body, not having access to my weekly appointments can be very challenging. I'm in more pain than usual. Not having access to resources in the same way I live on fundraising. You know, I'm in the system in the way that I'm on hold and waiting to hear, and that just gets pushed further back on hold. So that place where a lot of you are experiencing, like, I don't know when the income is coming back or how the finances are going to flush through this. Like, I've been surfing that for a really long time, and I feel for you. There's no, like, in some moments I can feel like extra hyper marginalized because I do live only on fundraising, and there's no fundraising going on right now, and I am waiting for a court date for ODSP, and like, that's not going to happen for a very long time right now. But on the other side of that, again, there's a roof over my head. I have food. There are people that love me that show up at my door and leave things there that, you know, like, my needs are met. So if you're feeling that right now, I invite you with me to just, like, breathe a breath, and on a root level, on, like, that base core knee level, like, I'm okay. We're okay. We're okay. This is a scary time, and it's also such a potent, beautiful, spectacular time. The offerings going on online right now, the healers, the artists, like, so just touching beyond belief. Thank you so much for watching and staying connected. So many of you have reached out, and I so appreciate it. We're okay. I'm okay. Even if we're not okay, like, we're still okay. Like, there is a known sense within us that is deeper than all of this. An essential self. Just like there's essential frontline workers, there's an essential self, you know, that can really move to the forefront of our hearts, of our beings in this time. I'm loving you.